It looks like the Eagles are trying to dump the contract. The Eagles have made a few signings. We're here to talk about all of it. Howie Roseman is still on the move in free agency, and we're going to talk about a lot more. So let's get into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope it's having a fantastic day today. This video is sponsored by BetUS, so definitely go check them out if you guys have not. So, Howie Roseman, wheeling and dealing, start trying to make something happen here. And we're going to be talking about some news on the trade front when it comes to getting rid of players, which was rumored more Super Bowl winners are going to be off this roster or trying to trade them and trying to dump contracts as well. And we heard still on the forefront that the Eagles have been open to trade talks involving Dallas Goedert and defensive end Bryce Huff. Goedert's in his final year of his deal, while Huff, one of the last year's biggest free agent signings, has been limited playing time due to Philly's deep rotation. Okay. More news is circulating around Bryce Huff that they're trying to dump this contract. We already know everything that's going on with Dallas Goedert and, really trying to find a fourth-round pick for him. And I don't know what their answer is, but I don't think they have the answer on this roster as the number one tight end unless the draft becomes, something of, getting the future guy there, if that's what they want to do. So I mean, if you get rid of Bryce Huff pre-June, you lose $5 million in cap. If you get him, if you try to get rid of him post-June, you save $4 million. I mean, that doesn't even matter because if you look at the numbers, his cap hits are just gonna go up, and they need a bigger answer for what's to come. So, $7.5 million cap hit this season goes to 11.7 in 26, and then $27 million in 27. Okay, so they're the big plan here is they're going to have to pay some of this. There's no way that they're just going to dump all of it. They're going to have to pay some of it, whether it's for the next few years or something like that. But then they have to find somewhat of a trade partner that's going to take on whatever the portion they're going to take on. I mean, realistically, I didn't know what they were going to do at the end of the year with Bryce Huff, because when he came back from the surgery, he still had a little cast on. He was kind of one-handed at that point, and then his snaps got lower in the playoffs. Then once the Super Bowl came, he was a healthy scratch. They didn't even play him. So in my eyes, I don't even think Fangio values him as a player. And I say this, okay, that Fangio had nothing to do with getting Bryce Huff on board with the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't. I think getting him to Philadelphia was a panic move by Howie Roseman. Paying him $17 million a year because Hassan Reddick was going to hold out. They ripped the bandage off. They traded him for really nothing. I guess a third-round pick is something at the end of the day for 26, which didn't turn to his second because it was a conditional pick at the time. But this Bryce Huff thing, I mean, they just know it's a bad deal. It's a bad contract, and they're just trying to get rid of it. And is there a team willing to take him off our hands? Because not only even getting the pass rusher from the Patriots, pass rusher that was with Kansas City, and Joshua Uche, which I think is going to be a really good player that no one is really talking about, especially, playing for himself this year, 26 years old. I think they're going to add more edge rushers. I think they're trying to get rid of Bryce Huff so they can add more edge rushers, and I think they'll add more in the draft too. So I think we just have to be patient with this. This might not happen right now. This could be really a down the road type thing. Maybe right before the draft, maybe after the draft, maybe by the time we get to camp, that's going to be that's going to be the move that we're going to make here, to at least dump some of this money, maybe pay a portion of it, and try to get him off the books in some case, but the Eagles still have to draft well. You still got to bring in what you got to bring in for the needs of this team. Mostly all depth right now, or guys that are going to be in rotation, that will produce. But for me, I have no interest in keeping Bryce Huff at 25, even if they want to keep him. They don't even want to keep him on practice squad, making the money that he's making. What's the point? There's no future with Bryce Huff, be it here. Okay, so that's really the news on him. Still a big question mark as of right now. So really it comes to Dallas Goedert, and Bryce Huff's contract here is one that yeah, we have to watch out for, and I think they're trying to dump it somewhere, and we'll see what happens. Now, it looks like the Eagles have signed a kick returner specialist, punt returner specialist, which is great. They signed Avery Williams per Diana Rossini, so I know that Britton Covey I think he was a restricted free agent, and the Eagles did not tender him, which allowed Britton Covey to become an unrestricted free agent. Didn't know if they were going to bring him back. He dealt with a few injuries last year. Cooper DeJean's been at the punt returns. Obviously, you lose Isaiah Rodgers for the kick returns, and you have no Kenny G for kick returns either. So kick return and punt returner are going to look very different. I've watched a lot of tape on Avery Williams. I like him. He's fine. He's actually played snaps on defense at nickel corner in the past as well. So I don't know if the Eagles really have any interest in putting him on defense for camp. And they'll most likely they will, they'll throw him somewhere. But no Cooper DeJean on punt returns. He's becoming too valuable, and obviously Fangio wants to, keep him on the defense where he belongs full time, and just be there, not taking the unnecessary hits. But I have to give the Eagles a lot of credit because I've wanted them to do this. I want them to go out and just get a specialist. And I think that's great, just to bring him here, see what he could do. I don't know if he's going to do double duty for kick return and punt return, but they better find some guys on this roster. I don't care if they're undrafted or what the case may be. Guys that won't get playing time on the offense or defense that can help, in special teams, and that's where, their value is going to be. So I don't want to put no starters at kick return, punt return. I know, maybe Will Shipley will be on the kick returns. I know Jahan Dotson in that Giants game, the last game of the year where he rested everybody, he was the backup punt returner. Might still be the backup punt returner, but like I said, they'd rather have somebody out there that's doesn't have a vital role in the offense or defense. And I think this was a good signing. I'm glad they're starting to come around. And, Britton Covey was great, but he's just undersized, man. He's undersized. And unfortunately, he doesn't have a big lower body. Any unnecessary hit that he takes, look what happens. Guy's been dinged up all year, and the Eagles were worried about even trying to re-sign him back. And of course it was going to be cheap, but I think it's time to let go of him. And, it's unfortunate because I really do like Britton Covey, but they need somebody else that is just a little bit bigger, still is a nice specialist for us. And, that could take some hits during the year without really breaking a sweat and worrying too much. So I thought that was a really good signing. Now, it looks like the Eagles are bringing a familiar face back to Philadelphia, and that is Patrick Johnson, okay? It is a one-year deal. Since Johnson was drafted by the Eagles in 7th round in 21 and played on a ton of special teams. The Giants claimed him off waivers in September, but now he's back, okay? Now, it looks like Patrick Johnson was really pushing for the Eagles to re-sign him. He really wanted to come back to Philadelphia. I actually really like Patrick Johnson because not only is he a linebacker, but he played edge rusher for us, and I thought he was productive at times. I don't think he was that bad. So to have some depth there, and I've liked him in preseason, and you know what I mean? You can't have enough, edge rushers and guys that can go into coverage and play as an off-ball linebacker if you need him to. So this is under Fangio now. So depending on how they use him. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he'll make the active roster. We got to see. I know the Eagles are still trying to bring in edge rushers. That is the news right now, and the draft could be a big target for one. But if they add enough edge rushers, I'm not even saying it's Patrick Johnson, but another guy or something like that, we could be going a different direction in the draft with that 32nd pick. which could be leading to that safety spot. So we'll see what happens here. But Patrick Johnson, I think it was a solid move, a nice solid move for the offseason program. And, has been, was drafted here, has been around the guys, has played here, and could play multiple positions. And, maybe Fangio could do some right by him. We'll see what happens with that. And finally, we have news on a new long snapper has been signed to the roster. Charlie Hewlett, if I'm saying his name right, was with the Browns. Obviously, Rick Lovato is gone from the Philadelphia Eagles. There was a lot of rumors because of Jake Elliott's bad kicks during the playoffs. It was like, before the Super Bowl, right? He missed, 5 kicks in 5 games. There was a lot of rumors surrounding Rick Lovato that that his plan of the football wasn't great, and I'm not really knowing if that's true or not, but there was a lot of rumors surrounding there was a long snapper problem during the playoffs, and maybe a little bit before that. But they get another guy now, not getting paid that much. I think like 400,000-500,000 guaranteed. I think the contract is up to like $1 million or something like that. Nothing crazy. So a new long snapper for the Philadelphia Eagles. Rick Lovato has had a good career in Philadelphia. He's won. I think he was here in 17 as well. He's won 2 Super Bowls with the Eagles. I haven't really noticed how long Rick Lovato has been here for. Been here a long time. So they had to make a change there, and hopefully it'll make Jake better. We'll have, I think he, coming off that Super Bowl, Jake having a pretty good year. Braden Mann, I think, is a really good punter, better than Aaron Sipos, in the past, and I think they've done a really good job with the special teams. Michael Clay's done a pretty good job, I gotta say, and we'll have a lot of new pieces for the special teams going forward. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Those have been really the signings. I'm expecting more edge rusher. I'm expecting the safety market. The Eagles have had interest in the safety market, so I know they'll maybe try to add somebody there since Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's departure, and the draft is still coming up, so there's obviously a lot of more speculation concerning that. But Bryce Huff, Dallas Goedert on the move for the Philadelphia Eagles. If they can get rid of that Bryce Huff contract, absolutely amazing, would be cool. And we will see what happens in the meantime. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. You guys definitely like the video. Definitely subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every day, and definitely like the video because it helps the channel tremendously. And I do appreciate it so much from everybody. Let me know what you guys think on these situations, and obviously the new kick returner that we did get as well, which is good. Do you like that the Eagles are starting to make really big changes to get like an actual specialist in the building, which is good. So other than that, guys, you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.